Welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you've ever ended a long day feeling just strangely exhausted, even though you were literally just sitting on the couch scrolling your phone, I want you to know something right off the bat. That exhaustion, it's completely valid. Today, we're going to completely reframe your relationship with technology. We've designed this as a quick, roughly 7-minute explainer to build a wholesome understanding of the topic. We're going to look at what a digital detox really means and exactly why constant connection drains us so much. So let's just dive right into it.
It's a feeling we all know, isn't it? You pick up your phone to, just browse for a second. And an hour later, you feel completely drained. I want to tell you explicitly right now, you are not weak for looking. You're human. The problem here isn't actually screen time itself, and that device in your hand isn't the true enemy. It's really about the way our minds interact with the whole digital environment.
The core of this entire concept comes down to this one idea. Digital detox is not withdrawal from modern life, it is recovery of attention. I love that. Read it again. We always tend to think of a detox as, tossing our phones into the ocean and moving to a cabin in the woods. But actually, scratch that. That's not it at all. The absolute crucial point here is that quiet isn't emptiness. Quiet is actually this vital active space that your mind uses to sort, settle, and recover from all the day's input. Without that recovery space, everything just stays loud inside.
Okay, let's get into Section 1, the digital detox myth. Now, on the left, we see the super common misconception, too much screen time. But the reality, over on the right, is that digital overload is actually about having too many inputs competing for a limited mind. Think of your mind like walking through a really busy outdoor market. You can enjoy the movement, the colors, the energy, but if every single shopkeeper starts yelling your name at exactly the same time, you completely stop noticing the beautiful market itself, right? Your attention just gets pulled into 100 tiny pieces. You are physically present, but you're not really there.
Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of Digital Overload.
So your mind isn't some giant storage room with unlimited shelves. It's much more like a small workbench. A nice, clear workbench easily handles a few tools super efficiently, like a notebook, a pen, maybe a cup of tea. But if you throw 10 different half-finished projects across it, you stop working well. Suddenly, you're spending literally all your energy just managing the clutter rather than doing the actual task. And that is the absolute core of digital overload. The pressure is on your mental system, not just the device.
To really understand this clutter, we need to quickly walk through these 5 truths of attention. First up, attention has a limited capacity. It's kind of like a flashlight. It only illuminates one area clearly, while everything else stays dim. If notifications keep yanking that flashlight in different directions every few seconds, you never really see anything clearly. Second, switching has a real cost. Think of a busy chef in a kitchen. If they keep running to answer the door, then check their phone, then stir 3 different pans, every single interruption leaves a small trace of unfinished mental work. Third, your brain naturally reacts to novelty. You are biologically wired to look at new things. Fourth, this overload deeply affects your mood, leaving you feeling restless or scattered. And fifth, it's relational. It's about the noisy environment around you, not just your lack of personal discipline.
And this digital overload leaves a very clear, almost clinical footprint. Let's look at this. If you keep checking your phone without intention, well, your attention is just being pulled by habit. If you forget what you were about to do, constant switching is fragmenting your working memory. And if you genuinely struggle to enjoy a quiet moment, your mind has literally gotten used to constant stimulation. This goes to show that distraction is mostly a systems problem, not you just lacking personal self-control.
All right, Section 3, Why Tech Habits Stick. A healthy mind has a really natural rhythm to it. Step 1, input arrives. Step 2, processing, which is where your mind makes sense of it. And Step 3, recovery, where the mind finally settles and resets. But unhealthy tech use completely breaks this cycle. You just keep adding continuous input with every single scroll, which effectively deletes that vital recovery step. Going back to our analogy, your workbench stays hopelessly cluttered because nothing ever gets put away. So why do we do this to ourselves? Well, because these habits are incredibly sticky. They get triggered by tiny cues, like a little buzz in your pocket or even just a split second of boredom, and they offer a quick reward. But here's the secret. That reward isn't actually real satisfaction. No way! It's just a temporary relief from uncertainty. Checking your phone offers this false sense of closure to an unfinished mental loop. Basically, your attention is desperately craving an ending, even when there isn't one to be found in an endless feed.
Bringing us to Section 4, Rebuilding Healthy Boundaries.
We need to rethink boundaries. Think of boundaries not as some strict punishment restricting your fun, but as the frame around a picture.
Without the frame, the picture just bleeds everywhere and becomes impossible to see. Attention needs edges. A book naturally has chapters, right? A meal naturally ends. But an endless scroll doesn't ever tell your brain, okay, you are done now. Boundaries simply give your mind that essential place to land.
So how do we actually build those boundaries? Before you even ask how much screen time is too much, you need to ask yourself a much simpler but way more powerful question. What job is this technology doing for me right now? This is literally the ultimate tool to shift you out of that reflexive automatic reaction mode and back into making a conscious, intentional choice.
Let's break down the 3 types of use so you know what to look for. First, there's intentional use. This is when tech helps you complete a chosen task. It feels clear, directed, and settled. Then there's automatic use, which just happens out of habit or reflex. It feels kind of foggy and repetitive. Finally, there's extractive use. This is when the platform pulls your attention just for its own sake, to keep you there, and this feels sticky, endless, and incredibly draining. Once you recognize which of these systems you're engaging with, you'll stop treating all screen time as the exact same thing.
And this brings us to the amazing value of friction. Modern digital tools are designed to remove absolutely all friction, making everything instantly available. But friction isn't always a bad thing. Reintroducing just a little bit of physical friction into your life, like having to actually walk into another room to grab your phone, or physically writing a note on paper instead of typing it, creates a deliberate pause. And that tiny pause matters so much. It gives your intention a fighting chance to appear before your reflexes just take over.
Ultimately, the goal here is the physical difference you'll start to feel in your own body. Unhealthy use feels compulsive, crowded, unfinished, and like we said earlier, strangely tiring. But healthy use, it feels calmer, it's much more deliberate, it's easier to stop, and it actively protects your quiet space. You are absolutely not trying to become anti-technology. You are simply shifting to a relationship that is pro-attention. So let go of the guilt. You're just changing your relationship to when, why, and how you engage.
And that brings us to the end of this 7-minute explainer. But I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought to chew on. What kind of relationship with technology actually supports the mind you want to have? You've got the model now, you have the language, and most importantly, you understand your finite attention as a truly precious resource. You have the choice. Think about that the next time you instinctively reach for your phone. Thanks so much for learning with us today.